Textile industry is one of our key focuses for our midterm plan as a company in terms of development. In fact, we entered the textile market around just over 20 years ago in partnership with a manufacturer in Italy called Robustelli. We were providing the technology, they were building the printer. Now actually we purchased the company and the industrial printers that are made, the Mona Lisa brand is now part of Epson. Digital technology gives us the opportunity to significantly improve the sustainability and environmental footprint of textile production. So that's in terms of both saving water and on energy usage. So what we see is that by really promoting the technology strongly, we can provide a significant improvement to the footprint of the textile industry. There's a couple of things that have happened in the last 5 or 6 years. Obviously we had the COVID-19 pandemic, and we had huge disruption to the supply chains from Asia, especially from China, during that period. And a lot of brands and retailers who were reliant on production in those regions had a problem, for want of a better word. So it became very apparent if you want to have a secure supply chain, you need to have local production and localized production. So that's one factor. Second factor is the growth in customization and personalization that is actually linked to digital technology. It enables it to happen far more easily than the traditional analog technology. And as such, what you're seeing is a growth in that type of business, and then that in itself encourages people to produce locally because the volumes are low. You might want to have a sort of a to and fro with your customer. And so what you see is people bringing the production back and producing in much smaller volume, but with that sort of customization business model. Being involved with all parts of the industry is important to us. And obviously, the student body, those people who are studying fashion, studying textiles, studying the industry, it is important for us to engage with them as part of our overall engagement. If I go back 20 years to when we first launched Mona Lisa, the digital industrial textile press, the biggest single factor that encouraged our customers to purchase the printer was the fact that designers realized that they could print using significant tonal gradation, which is something that's very difficult with screen printing, or very costly, should I say. So that capacity to innovate with design, with the technology, was vitally important. And if we weren't liaising with designers, and young designers especially, because of course their minds aren't sort of preset by the existing technology. So it's always good to go back and have a discussion and see how they react to the technology when they're seeing it for the first time. Sometimes you can be guilty, you have technical people who are very good at, designing print heads and making sure it can do this and that, but actually haven't looked at the use case. So you have to always go to your customers, or in this case today, to the designers, and ask them, what do you want to see? Because there may be something you haven't thought about at all. So we launched a product earlier this year called the Mona Lisa ML13000, and it's the first one where we have integrated the pre and post treatment into the inkjet process. So now you can jet your pre-treatment and your post-treatment with your inks, thereby eliminating some of the pre and post process steps in textile production. And actually this ability to print additional fluids is something that we're investigating further. So we're going to investigate it further beyond pre and post to look at functional fluids. Now, for instance, there's a whole technical textile market where actually some of the things that can be used can come across into fashion and sportswear. So there is a lot to do with the technology. It has a lot of potential in terms of what can be jetted and how we can then enhance the quality of fabric, should I say, going forward. And also the core technology. We continue to work on the core print head technology, and you will see further developments on that in the future that then again widen what we can print.